What is going on, young men? I am the over 50 guy slash the online dad. Listen, on today's video, I want to talk to you guys about reading the room when it comes to dating, right? For as much as I preach to you guys to avoid the distractions of women and sex, you are young men, right? And I am not so crazy as to think that you're not going to have involvement with young ladies at this age. You should. I just don't want it to become so much of a distraction that it keeps you from building yourself and finding your purpose. But having said that, I know that you guys are going to do this thing, right? You're going to date and want to run after the young ladies. I get it. What I want you guys to start becoming keenly aware of, and this is what I mean by reading the room, that, by and large, when someone is really interested in you. I see it so often now where these young men are going to extreme lengths to, secure attention from these young ladies. And, attention, box, whatever. These men are going to, buying the big dinners and, vacations and trips and things like this. But I would tell you guys, and I've said it in other videos past, is that, if you're not careful, you'll just be one of many young men who are doing that for a particular woman, right? You will become what's called an orbiter, right? And this is just, men that are around a woman, that are in a woman's orbit that she can pull down whenever she wants to, use for whatever purpose, and put back in that orbit. And it would be very easy for you guys to become one of those guys if you don't know how to read the room when it comes to that. If you don't know how to spot genuine interest from usury. When I was in my 20s and a good job, and, I was sought after because of that. Like, there were women that knew that I had this good job, and they knew that the dates would be good, that we would go out and eat good, drink good, whatever else. But then I started noticing something, and this goes in along the lines, guys, of reading the room. I started noticing that things like I wouldn't hear from these women all week long. But all of a sudden, every Friday and Saturday, hey, what you doing? What you got going this weekend, right? Now, keep in mind, I haven't heard from you all weekend long, right? Or if you do go out and kick it or whatever, afterwards, you don't hear from them, right? Until they want to kick it again. Another thing that I noticed back when I was you guys' age, that it was never an offer to do something for me. It was never a, hey, let me take you somewhere. Let me do something for you. It was always me doing for them. So things like that, young men, like you got to learn how to read, like you have to read things and you have to take them for what they are. That, listen, if a young lady only deals with you when you're giving her stuff, that's a sign. That's it, and you need to pay attention to that. Otherwise, you'll just be one of those orbiters. If you don't know how to read the room, young man, that genuine interest goes both ways, right? And what I've learned over 55 years of living is that when someone is genuinely interested in you, as well as you being interested in them. And in those interactions that interest isn't genuine for me. And listen, here's another thing. I'm not winning it. I'm not winning that interest by doing stuff for you. Either you're interested in me or you're not, right? That's what you're looking for. The ideal of you have to do stuff. And that's something that has been going on for centuries. And, I'm not totally against that. I'm not totally against letting a woman know that I have some interest in her. But after a while, if that interest is not reciprocated, I'm going somewhere else. I'm not going to stay there constantly when, trying to show my interest when you're not showing any in me. Men, you have to learn how to read the room, right? Many men nowadays are buying that interest, right? And here's my thing. There was a song years ago that said it's not tricking if you got it. It ain't tricking if you got it. So listen, if you know what that is and you want that woman or that box bad enough and you willing to, pay for the expensive dinners and the trips and you know what that really is, I think it's a waste of your money. But if that's a decision you make and you are not naive to that and you are not thinking that it is this when it's really that, then I guess have at it. But for average men who are building themselves and really need to be careful about what they do with their finances, because those finances should be going towards their purpose and to their passion. And you better learn how to read the room. You better learn how to read the room when it comes to the women that you're dating, because if you don't, you'll get ran through, and you'll get ran through financially just with this ideal in mind that, I have to win this affection by buying and doing stuff, and nothing can be further from the truth. You want to find you somebody, young men, that are just as genuinely interested in you as you are in them. I will tell you honestly, 9 times out of 10, that ain't going to be the Beyonce if you ain't a Jay-Z. What do I mean by that? I don't know either one of them, but I would put it to you like this, that if Jay-Z worked at the post office or at UPS, there's a pretty good chance he wouldn't be with Beyonce. In other words, man, he qualifies for a Beyonce because he's Jay-Z. Part of reading the room, young men, is knowing what you qualify for. If you ain't got Jay-Z money and you're trying to get a Beyonce, there's a good chance that you're going to end up being that orbiter that is used. Deal with what you qualify for. That is a way that you can ensure that genuine interest. When you are going for something or shooting for something that you know you don't qualify for, there's a good chance that because you didn't read the room correctly, you're going to pay a cost for that. You're going to be one of those orbiters that I talk about. So that's one way. Ultimately, where I would want you guys is what I've talked about since I've been doing these videos, is to build yourself into such a person that you're not doing the chase. You're not doing the chasing. You're being chased by multiple Beyoncés, right? But until then, men, learn how to read the room and don't make yourself an easy target. These women know that they have what you want. They know that most men are gullible enough and thirsty enough to do anything for it. And don't think for a minute that many of them, not all, but many of them are not using that to their advantage. Your only saving grace out here, young men, is to be smart enough to know that when the genuine interest is not being reciprocated, I need to go where it is. So that's all I have for you tonight, young man. I thought I'd just run that by you. Just learn how to read the room when it comes to dealing with young ladies out here at your age. It'll save you a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of heartache. Okay? So listen, I am offering one-on-one coaching for you young men. I'm leaving my email in the bottom of the video description. If you reach out to me, you put coaching in the subject line, then I will get back with you and I will tell you how that whole process works. Like and subscribe to the channel. It helps the YouTube algorithm so these videos can get out to other young men like yourselves. To also turn on your bell notifications so you know when I drop content. Okay. As usual, man, I am the over 50 guy / the online dad. Hope this added some value to you guys. We'll be back with another one soon.